Hello everyone, and welcome to Change My Mind. My name is Hunter Gaswin, I'm your host. On today's episode I'm saying, band is not a sport. Change my mind. Alice, nice to meet you, Alice. How's it going, man?
Good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, you're responding to my sign. Marching band is not a sport.
Why do you think it's not a sport?
Well, see, typically a sport would be something played with a ball, with a goal on winning, and I don't see how marching band would tie into that being a sport.
Band is a physical activity. We're playing against different schools in basically a tournament to see who can be the best band.
So, I mean, if you're competing in like a tournament against other schools, wouldn't that be something more like debate? By your loose interpretation of the word sport, you get classified like moving. Like if I'm a moving company, that could be a sport. And you have two rival moving companies, you're competing against each other in a physical activity. It's still not a sport. So I'm confused as to your point.
Well, my point is you're saying marching band isn't a sport. Moving companies, you know, they do physical activity and they go off against each other because they're trying to be the best moving company.
Football.
You know, you have a ball, you play against different schools, you play against them in a sport. Marching band, we play against other schools, but not at the same time. We're still doing about as much physical activity as you would in a game of football.
We definitely put in almost twice the amount of time as our other sports in terms of rehearsal. I'd say, probably. We do spend a lot of time outdoors. Those are probably the basis of my argument.
I'll take response to each one. The first thing you said is that you spend time working like rehearsals. Other things that have rehearsals are choir and really any fine art and theater, and so that's not a sport. And another thing you said particularly is that you get a PE credit. Do you know what other class you get a PE credit for?
Show choir.
Show choir. And by every mean, I would not call show choir a sport. And so that being a basis of an argument is a little bit of a problem to me. And then as far as spending time outside, I mean, you can spend time outside doing anything. I mean, I can sit outside and read a book. That doesn't mean I'm doing a sport.
So, I'll elaborate. So the time that we spend outside, we do a lot of...
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Well, first off, like yoga, you don't have any competitions. Yes, it is a great stretch, but they're not practicing for any physical activity or performance, or should I say, competition beforehand.
If I'm gonna go move a house, how is that not a sport under your qualifications for marching band being a sport?
Well, I would say that moving a house, it is they could have a sport for that.
Wrong. It's just such a loose term because under what you're trying to say, well, I have to stretch my fingers before I play an intense game of chess. So is chess a sport?
Chess is actually a sport.
Boy, if you don't...
Week here at the high school, they practice and they go off the competitions once in a while.
You say stretch beforehand. You didn't say physically stretch a certain part of your body. So if you're doing like a musical, you're stretching your brain by doing a mind game before you do like a UIL academics. Would you consider that a sport?
You got me there.
We got him.
Marching band is the 100% definition of what a sport is.
Memorizing things for a show sounds way more like a concert or a performance than a sport to me, because going in, you know what the result is going to be at the end. Going into a football game, you don't know what the play. Going into a volleyball game like we're going to have tonight, you don't know what the end result is going to be. But at the end of your band show, you know what the end of your show is going to be. You know the beginning, middle, and end. So that's my problem with calling it a sport.
I see where you're coming from. We know who we're going up against. We may be small, but we will fight to the death.
Fortnite Battle Royale.
And that would merely be a competition. By those standards, any school like UIL Academics or something like that would be a competition like marching band, but not a sport. So that's my problem is the word sport.
It's the dedication and the work that we put into our sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Why you bullying me?
That makes it the term sport. We have so many things that go into band that make it a sport.
And once again, I'm not taking away from your dedication or commitment. I think what y'all do here is great. I'm just merely saying I don't believe it is a sport. So I think we're going to have to agree to disagree. Thanks for sitting down and talking to me, man. Thanks for talking to me today. It's good to talk. Thanks for sitting down with me, man. It was a great conversation.
Hi, welcome to Find of the Day.
Iridocyclitis.
Iridocyclitis. Iridocyclitis.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Hunter.
I'm John.
And welcome to Judging
With John.
And Hunter.
And today we'll be talking about Halloween costumes that students have worn at the Marble Falls High School.
So this past Wednesday, October 31st, was Halloween, and students were allowed to wear Halloween costumes. So let's look at some of the choices students made. So we have the first one right here. There's this girl. She's covered in blood.
Yeah. I see rips, various rips throughout the shirt.
Yeah, there's some rips all around. Bloody face.
Yeah, I think overall I'd rate it a 5.9 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 possible Jeff Goldblums. Oh, okay. So for this next one, we have two girls. They appear to be in some kind of medieval type dresses. They look like they just came from like a Renaissance fair. Very unique.
One is dressed in all black, which does bring up some red flags. As well as we have a velvet jacket, which looks like it would get hot. But this woman does have the stones to pull this off. So honestly, I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it another 5 out of 5 possible Jeff Goldblums. So here we have what appears to be a squirrel.
I think it complements his skin tone. It's almost a monotone human being. It's all the same color, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's one of those full body type suits, and I'm a fan of those. I think he's pulling this off quite well. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 possible Jeff Goldblums.
The gloves, for me, make it a 6.5. It really just muy bien.
So here we have someone who appears to be dressed as the Morton Salt Girl. So she has a can of salt. She's got the black umbrella and the yellow raincoat. Channeling somewhat Georgie from It.
Yeah, I got that vibe too, with a Mary Poppins twist. I think her bringing the salt can or the salt container really does add to the effect, and it really puts it in all perspective.
I was honestly confused, and if she hadn't brought the salt can, I think I wouldn't have known what it was. But since she did, very good costume. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 possible Jeff Goldblums.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Here we have someone who appears to be dressed as some kind of police officer, state trooper of some sort. He's writing a ticket, a violation.
For an offense. I think this can either be connected to Super Troopers 1 and 2, or Chip from the 1980 series Chip.
It also looks like it could be from the TV show Reno 911. I'm gonna give this costume a 6 out of 9.
Ricky got the sticky.
So for this next guy, we have someone who appears to be dressed as Mr. Josh Ian, the AV technology teacher. I don't know if he's completely capturing the look, although this man does have a similar body shape to one Mr. Ian. He's got the ID badge, which it's a nice touch.
Yeah. Fun fact, the person actually took that badge home. Just a little tidbit. I think this person also looks like Theodore from the movie Her, 2013 classic with Joaquin Phoenix. It was beautifully written, a little story about a man who falls in love with his phone. But yes, I definitely see the Josh Ian vibes.
And of course, Ian's gonna get a 6 out of 9.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
So we have this next guy who I assumed was a Jedi and was later told is some sort of gladiator, but with earphones.
apparently he's got a very Spartan-y vibe to him, but I could see him holding or wielding a lightsaber.
Gladiator Jedi. He's gonna
Gladiator
get.
Jedi.
He's gonna get 5 out of 5 possible Jeff Goldblums.
He gets a 7.5.
Oh, it seems we've reached the end. Thank you for tuning in to Judging with
John
and Hunter.
Mamma mia, let him go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me.